Just wait for some people to get on here. Just had a bit of time today, so I thought I would just go live for you guys to answer some tattoo related questions, whether that be techniques, whether that be anything really to do with tattooing, processes that I take. There's actually 0 people in right now. So many people are dropping with Omicron, it's crazy. What's going on, people? 9 people watching. What's up, Ted and Thorn? I'm actually just sat in my car right now. Good morning, Dave. What's going on? Daniel O. Hanlon, US Philadelphia. Just thought I'd come on here and quickly do like a little tattoo Q&A. If you have any questions, let me know. There's one here that's just coming from Ellenwood Slim that says, what tattoo stencil app do you use? I actually use Stencil app, I think it's called. So I think it's by Pony Lawson. Shout out to him. I use his app. It doesn't work for everything. It works for some tattoos I do. Ryan Jordan, you're so sweet. I hope you're good, bro. I will be answering as many questions. I'm going to try and do this for an hour. So what's going on, Maris? I'm very well. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Slim God 90, Benjamin, Daniela, hello. Brazil is in the house. Zenzinho Art Tattoo. Ted and Thorne says, great to see your work improve. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Yeah, the Stencil app is it is very good. It picks out a lot of stuff, and I think because it's using the actual reference, you can get a closer stencil than doing it yourself by hand, which then comes out a bit better in the end. But with that being said, it's you do have to concentrate a lot more because the stencil is quite confusing. But when you it's not as confusing when you look back from like if you have the reference side to side with the stencil, it's not that confusing. It just looks very intimidating, which is why I hadn't used that kind of style stenciling for a long time. Good, yeah, Ryan, that's sweet. Just give me a shout whenever you're ready, bro. I'm ready. Dave Isherwood, after COVID, you said you lost your place at tattoo. Yeah, I did. Where are you working now? I'm just working from studio to studio, man. I've been working in Weston-super-Mare. Been working in London, Croydon. I've been working. I was supposed to go and work in Thomas Carly Harlier's studio in London as well for a bit, but I've literally just been away, so that's the reason I couldn't. So yeah, I'm just kind of working where I can really. Just floating around, still around London, of course. But it's yeah, it's hard. It is hard. BMAX says, hey mate, any thoughts on the Shea and Soul Nova? I haven't tried it, to be honest, but I think it's a pretty good machine. I think it hits quite soft though. Vinu Ramos, what's going on? Got some people in the back. Maris says, I'm doing now tattoo portfolio, drawing like crazy. I want to get a tattoo apprenticeship. Any advice for me? Just keep drawing, dude. Just keep practicing. I would start jumping on this YouTube channel actually and just start to gain some knowledge about tattooing on fake skin, because if you can tattoo, you know, holding the tattoo, the most awkward thing when you first start tattooing is holding the machine in your hand. It feels so unnatural. If you're used to drawing with pencils, drawing with a pen, a biro, the first thing when you do is you it feels unnatural to hold in your hand a tattoo machine. So what I would do to get an apprenticeship is to first get used to, you know, learning about different light positions and stuff like that. You know, lighting is what makes a tattoo pop out with the contrast and stuff like that. So you want to really learn how light hits objects and stuff like that. Educate yourself in that respect, and then jump straight into tattooing. I wouldn't even concentrate on drawing. The design work can come later. I would literally just get down your basics like lining, soft shading, a bit of stippling here and there. Stippling on fake skin is quite hard to do though, so to make it look really good. So I would just jump straight into just go straight into like just tattooing on fake skin. That's probably the best thing. How do you go about licensing for that? Well, the place is licensed where I work. It's not. The thing is with the UK, you as a person aren't licensed. It's the premises, and that's it. You know, it's very easy to get a license as well. As long as you have 2 sinks, a washable floor, like some people like washable walls up to the waist. That's it. That's literally it. That's all you need. As long as you're not doing stupid stuff like pouring the ink back in the bottle after you finish to save ink, like that will kill people. It's very, very, very bad. How long do you wait for an appointment with you? I'm literally booked up for a few weeks. I never really book up months at a time because I feel I don't know what I'm going to do. My lifestyle was very like last minute, so I'll book maybe 2-3 weeks up at a time, and then I'm free after that. So if you do want to get tattooed by me, I am available literally within 2-3 weeks. So you don't have to wait like 6 months to a year like most people do. Dan Levy says, what are you going to talk about? I'm talking about whatever you want me to talk about. Ellenwood Slim says, I'm introverted and have a hard time building clientele. How can I improve? Do you know what? I used to be like that. I still am a bit like that, to be fair. It's just throwing yourself into it. When I first started tattooing, I used to. I can't do small talk. I really struggled with, you know, the usual, hey, how are you, blah blah blah, like just like the normal chat, you know, that you do, and it's just so awkward. And when you tattoo over like 100 people, 300 people, 400 people, 1,000 people, like you get used to it, you know, you just get used to going through the motions, and it becomes way more natural. I'm an introverted character. I'm not stupidly outgoing. I'm normally like the middle ground in the room. I'm not quiet, but I'm not loud and proud, if you want to say that. So yeah, I think with the question, I'm introverted and have a hard time building clientele. How can I improve? Clientele's all built online. You obviously get word of mouth and stuff like that, but I think clientele is like the majority of it is built online. In my course, I talk about how to build your presence online, what to post, what not to post. There's certain things you should post, there's certain things you shouldn't post. Never really post unfinished work. I hate it when I see really good pieces of work, and because they're so slow, they can only obviously do like, I don't know, like a face, and then they've got like the outline of like the body or something like that. And it looks unfinished. I hate that. I think it looks it doesn't look disgusting because it's really good work, but I think it's unfinished. I think if you treat your Instagram or whatever outlet you have for your work, I suggest getting a Facebook and an Instagram. Just have it act as it's like a portfolio, you know. Put finished work on there. Post things that you want to do in the future. Don't post things that you did that day. You know, I don't post it every day for a reason. I tattoo nearly every day, but I don't post every day because there's some things I don't want to post up. That's a very, very big secret there. What car are you sitting in now? Nice chair. Looks like a sports car. As far... So look, Slim God 90, Benjamin says, as far as lining, do you use different strokes for different needle sizes? I don't use different strokes. I use different voltages. The higher the stroke, say a 5-stroke machine or a 4.2 or whatever, the higher the stroke, the easier it is to pack colour into the skin. So with that being said, it's very powerful. It can very quickly damage your client's skin. So the way I look at it, as I try and match, and I learned this from my good friend Pedro. He is a god at script lettering. He is unbelievable. Very, 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 very good. And I recently just learned this actually. So, excuse me. So he said the way he lines, and his lines are crisp, perfect. You know, he's perfect at line. There's no discrepancies. There's no nothing. He said when he lines, you change the voltage according to what kind of needle grouping you're using. So say if you're using a 9, he'll try and match, depending on the machine, of course, he'll try and match the voltage to the needle. So say if he's lining with the 9, right? If he's using a 5-stroke a Bishop 1 shader, Bishop 1 liner, sorry. So that's got a 5-stroke. That's a 5-stroke machine, extremely powerful. If he uses a 9-round liner, he's looking at around 8. Well, you can't really use the 8 volts on a shader, so he'll use like 6 volts. So this is why I say, depending on the machine, the liner from Bishop 1 series, you can't really go above a 6 because the motors, if you go above a 6, you're going to start to wear out the motor really quickly. It's going to damage the machine. So they've got a voltage range on there. So the higher the voltage, so basically anything above that 6. So if you're using like a 7-round liner or something like that, just use a 6 volt. Which is pretty much the top end of the voltage range on the liner. If you're using a 3, he said go down to like a 3 or a 4 volt. Like try and match the needle size with the voltage. And ever since he said that, I've tried it and I've put it into my work, and it's just crisped up everything for me, which is really weird because I was like, oh, I need to stick at like same volts throughout the whole tattoo. But to be fair, I mean, lining I do change my volts, but shading I do tend to stick at the same voltage throughout the whole tattoo. I just then adjust my hand speed. And in my course, you'll those of you that have taken it, you'll understand that for shading, especially trying to get smooth shading it's hand speed versus the machine speed. So you really have to make sure you get that right in terms of so say I, for instance, use a 8.2 volt on my machine now, the one shader from Bishop, and it's just amazing. It's really, really, really good. Really, really, really cool. So Slim God 90, yes, match needle volt with needle size. But just do some research on your machine. Make sure you have your voltage. So say if your max volt for the motor inside your machine is 6 volts or 8 volts, for instance, just make sure that, I mean, something, say for a Injector Flight Nano Elite, right? They've got a stupidly crazy range of voltage. So you can go from, I think it's like from a 7 volt all the way to 18 volts, which is mental for a machine. So you can literally use that machine for everything. So that machine, because it's got such a wide range, I mean, you're never really going to use an 18 round liner unless you're doing really thick lines. So yeah, you know, you could easily match the voltage with the needle size with that machine because it's got such a wide range. But you will have a cap on your voltage, and then if you go over that, you're probably going to start damaging the motor and someone's skin if it's super thingy. So let's have a look. I'm literally just going to go through these straight from up here. What car are you sitting in now? It was a nightmare for me in Warrington, especially as I opened mine straight after first lockdown. Yeah, it's one of them things, man. Like, you know, if it's stupidly hard. Like, I've got a family. You know, sometimes there's literally nowhere to tattoo. I'll just make do, you know. I will literally just make do. I've got to feed my fucking family. I've got to feed myself. And you just got to do what you got to do, man. I'm still grinding, you know. Does anyone need a license as a tattoo artist in country like Canada, or the portfolio is everything? Yes, it is everything. And I think you do need a license. But I've seen loads of people like tattoo from hotel rooms and stuff like that, which is what I've done a lot, to be honest. Especially if you're traveling, you just tattoo from hotel rooms, isn't it? Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. This is what I'm saying to you. You just make do. You travel light, tattoo wherever, and then you can build your clientele in a further radius than you are set up, you know. So that's really good advice, actually. But obviously make sure that you are very clean, very hygienic, because that definitely needs to be said when tattooing from places like that. Eric Messina's one of the world's highly rated artists. He tattoos mainly from hotel rooms. Let's have a look. So Bruno, Brazil in the house. Thoughts on a Spectra Flux machine? I've heard good things. I personally haven't tried it, I don't think. I mean, the closest thing I have is the EXO, which the competition winner won. Well done for that. The last competition, the last raffle, which I will be setting up very shortly in New Year. Actually, I might do it now, between now and New Year, to win a Bishop shader. So be very on the lookout for that. I'm going to set up a different Instagram for raffles, actually, for tattoo raffles. So it's another thing I'm going to go down. So what was I saying? Yeah, the Flux. If it's anything like the EXO, it's probably going to hit super hard. Please smash a like on the video, by the way, guys. The Flux will probably hit super hard, which, like, it just bruises the skin. Like, I really did like the EXO. Had I think it was like a 3.2 stroke machine, isn't it? So it's super soft, but it hit hard at the same time. There's no give. Even with the max give setting, it was super, super, super hard. And it did start to bruise my clients. I've never had that. And I work really light on the skin. Let's have a look at these questions again. Elliot Road says, I went from coil machine to rotary, but I find it harder to line with cartridge needles. Can you help? Right, I mean, it depends on your rotary machine, depends on what stroke it is, depends on what needles you're using. You know, depends on if you're using a, I mean, nothing quite hits like a coil. You know, coil machines are just the goat for lining. They hit super hard. They pack the skin really well. You know, they are amazing when they're tuned right. But with that being said, there are rotary machines now with the technology that's come out that can hit just like a coil. The Bishop wand liner hits fucking unbelievable. If you go out and get a Bishop one liner, you will not regret it. If you do a lot of lines, you will not regret it. It hits so good, so clean, so crisp. If you use any kind of decent liner or shader cartridge for lining, say like a Da Vinci V2 or a Quadrant, you will just be blown away with how good it hits, how amazing it is. It depends. Like lining with a 3.5 stroke machine, it's going to be crap. It's not going to hit like a core machine. You need something above a 4, I would say, above a 4.2 to 5 stroke is just where it's at for lining with a rotary. So it's needle size +1. That's with Quidditch. It depends on your I would try and match the needle size with the volts when lining. So if you're lining with a 5-stroke, you've got to be careful because it hits so hard. And obviously on a machine like that, it's got a different motor to a shader, so you could go up in volts with a shader. But the max volts you would use for a 5-stroke machine like that, like a Bishop liner, is 6 volts. I wouldn't go above 6 volts because it's just crazy. So obviously if you're lining with a 9-round liner, you wouldn't go to 9 volts with a machine that's rated at 6 volts, you know. I would probably just stop at the max, which is 6. Even if you used to go with an 18, I would stop at 6. Honestly, I would. I'd stop at 6 and just slow your hand speed down to pack it in. Is that wireless? Thoughts on wireless? Yeah, wireless banging. Do you know what I had? Those of you that have watched this channel for a while, you've heard my thoughts on when wireless first came out, and I had doubts. I was thinking, no, it can't be right. It can't be right. You know, it can't be as consistent as a power pack. It can't be consistent as a cable. You know, direct feed. I was wrong. I was wrong. I was super, super, super wrong. Critical, especially critical power packs, battery packs. Sorry, power packs are crap. The critical power packs are crap. I've had 3 and they've all blown up within the space of 2-3 months. Maybe I was just unlucky, but their batteries, unbelievable. Have you tried the Bishop 1 packer? That was from Vohai. I haven't. I'm going to buy one in the new year. I'm going to buy one. Then I'm going to have the whole pack. I'm going to have the shader, the liner, and the packer. And I'm going to see. I'm going to then do a video for you guys testing a number of things on human skin as well. I'm going to test it on human skin. I'm going to try and find a guinea pig to test this on. And I want to try and test, you know, between the packer, how shading is with the packer, how shading is with the shader, how lining is with the packer, how lining is with the liner. Is there a machine that you can buy that you can use, which would be the packer because it's a 4.2 stroke, I believe. It's probably a tiny bit too much for shading smoothly, but apparently it's really good for shading, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Any smooth shading tips? Slow your hand speed down, first of all. Slow your hand speed down. Nice and consistent hand strokes. Yeah, I suppose it is a hand stroke, isn't it? Hand strokes. So say if you're in the skin, go zzz, 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 not none of this zzz, zzz, like this, like erratic movements. Nice and slow. Watch my videos, you'll see it's very nice and slow. Villy, member, what's going on? You draw the stencil before your client comes to you or after? After. I always do my stencil and my design on the day in front of my client. That's quite nerve-wracking for some people. But the way I tattoo is so quick, I've got time, and I know I've got time. It's way easier for me as well, how I work, to liaise with the client, build a nice rapport with them, build that kind of, you know, friendship, I guess, and professionalism where we can go back and forward and discuss ideas. And then, you know, any input he has. I mean, a lot of people, COVID, 9 times out of 10, someone will come in and change their idea anyway. So if I then spent 2 hours the night before designing a tattoo, a design that they're just going to change the next day, what's the point? I'm just wasting my time. So that's the way I look at it. Do you do any color tattoos? I don't, but I'm going to be doing one on Monday actually. So that's interesting. Not full color. I'm just going to be using red and a darker red. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to try and do like a red blood moon. It's going to be good. It's going to be cool. It's going to be very cool. I'm speaking to him now, so I'm just getting it. I like to get all the references from the client before. David Silver, what's going on? And I like to just get the clients to send me the references, so I got all the ideas that he wants, and I'll just float it in my head for a couple of days, and on the day I can just bang out. Tips on tattooing dark skin: go dark with your ink. That's literally it. If you're tattooing black people with very dark ink, very dark skin, I would just use solid black and maybe a mid-tone and then maybe a light tone. Just use literally 3 cups of ink. That's literally all you can do. You know, the super light and mid-tones aren't really going to show up. You won't really see the difference between the 2 values. So you've got to go super black, then a mid-tone, and then a light tone. That's all you can do, really. So obviously with someone with my pale ass skin, then you know, all these different values you can see them. How much did you roughly spend in the beginning to start up learning, etc.? Machine, fake skin, stencil paper. That was from Scott Henry. Thank you for your question, mate. I would probably have spent, I mean, I did a video years ago on this channel explaining the best tattoo setup for a beginner, and people ridiculed it and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? That's what I did. You know, I had a cheap ass machine. It got me nowhere. I was damaging people's skin. It's very easy to taint your reputation before it's even kicked off, you know? So just bear that in mind. But I would say you're looking at around, I want to say £1,000. I want to say £1,000. If you can save £1,000 up to start your tattoo journey, boom. Straight away, machine. I'm just going to do it quickly for you guys right now. I'm just going to do it quickly. Machine, you're spending 700 quid, 600, 700 quid. Buy a Bishop shader, bang. 3.5 stroke Bishop shader or a packer, bang. I haven't used a packer, so don't go on my word on that. But yeah, about 1,200 for me if you want good stuff. Yeah, you need good stuff. You need good quality needles, good quality tattoo machine. So to be fair, if you used to go wireless, which would be even better, you're going to have to look at about 1,200, to be honest. It's about $2,400, isn't it? So it's about $2,500. Bishop shader, bang, 620 quid. On top of that, get a critical battery, £250. You're now looking at 850 quid, say. Needles, good set of needles. looking at about 200 quid. So you're looking at about £1,000 now. Then the inks, you got you know, just use black and dilute it. Use my drop system, way cheaper than buying a set. That's about it really. Then you've got, you know, you've got a printer. You're looking at a couple £100. I would buy an iPad, to be honest. To be completely honest with you, I think every beginner should buy an iPad first, because you don't have to worry about buying the printer. You don't have to worry about buying, you know, ink for the printer and stuff like that. Like a traditional printer, you can just print it straight from the iPad, which saves you a lot of time and a lot of money. To be honest, it's getting up now. You know, the most important things when you're tattooing is buying an iPad with a pencil. Straight away, buy an iPad with a pencil. It doesn't have to be singing and dancing. Just buy an iPad with a pencil. It doesn't have to be stupid memory on it and stuff like that. It adds like $500-600 or pounds to it. Just buy an iPad with a pencil, decent tattoo machine, one shader, 600 quid. Wireless battery for the machine. Buy a stencil printer, which is going to cost a few £100 as well. I use the Brother. It's about 600 quid, 700 quid actually, I think it is. And then stencil, paper, inks, needles. You're looking at around £2,000 for a decent beginner setup. That's going to last you for years. You're soon going to get the money back again. You will. You're soon going to get the money back. If you start cracking out tattoos, 2-3 a day, small ones, doesn't have to be crazy. 2-3 small tattoos a day, you're looking at 120 quid here, 120 quid there. Soon, you know, couple of months, you'll then be in profit. What's a good printer to print good references? I just use my iPad, mate. Like I said literally a minute ago, I would literally use iPad. Buy the Brother Pocket Jet printer, stencil printer. It's going to cost you a bit of money. I didn't really want to do that, to be honest, because I like the traditional hand stencil and stuff like that. But I leveled it up, and since then, it's just been it's just been good. It's up to my level, and it's all these small things now for me that I need to find in order to gain a bit more detail here, a bit more detail there. That's going to make it. It's going to make me level up in a sense. Master Pro is good. No, I don't like that machine at all. It hits way too hard. There's no give whatsoever. It's a horrible machine. What stencil cream would you recommend? That was from Awkward. I use Nico Hurtado's Anchored. That is, I think it's the best one out there. I've tried everything. My baby mum won't let me see my kid. Yeah, it's awful. I've never had to be there, but I don't. What's going on, Levi? Sahil Dewan, hey Oliver, big fan of your work. Want to ask if we should use more curve mags rather than flat ones. Don't ever use flat ones. Why do you use flat ones? What's the reason for using flat ones? What is the reason for using a flat mag? Please tell me. I don't even know why they were invented. Curve mags all the way, dude. Curve mags all the way. I don't even click on the flat mag thing at all. I haven't used a flat mag in 7 years. Sniper Path, what's going on? I haven't used a flat mag in 7 years. I don't even know why they're invented. Roland Toth says hand stencil plus cheap needles plus £60 rotary. Talented artists can do high level. Yeah, they can. Makes it way harder for them though. But to be honest, like, I'm not being funny. Like, to get a good setup, like, your work is only as good as the work is as the needles are massive, ink is massive, needles is massive, ink is massive, the machine is massive. Massive. You don't understand how buying a £60 fucking machine is so poor. It's such a poor judgment. Just save. Just save for a good... It's not good on the skin. Even if you do a good tattoo, it's going to heal like shit. It is going to heal like shit. Then what? Then what? You're fucked. Do you know what I mean? You are fucked. What voltage do you recommend for make lines with the pen? Well, it depends. It depends. It fully depends on what needle you're using, what machine you're using. If you're using a one liner, using a three round liner set. This is what I use. A 3-round liner on a bishop wand liner. I will probably use a 4 volts, 4.5 volts with that. If I'm using a 9-round liner, say, I'll use 5.5 to 6 volts. Did you try Quadrant machines yet? Yes, very good. Very good. The Quadrant Fox 2 is unbelievable. Unreal. Have you tried Kurosumi ink? I have. That was one of the first inks I ever used, actually, when I first began to tattoo. And I have to say, very thick, very hard. Yeah, color packing you would use flat mags, yeah, but they're so bad on the skin. But I don't color pack. Do you know what I mean? It's just not what I do. My fault really for presuming everyone did black and grey soft work, but obviously they don't. Yeah, I mean flat mags you would use, but again you can still color pack with a curve mag. I do. You know, you have to spend a bit more time doing it, but it's not the end of the world. I'm using it anchored as well. Yeah, anchored is very good. What's going on, Levi Selag? I nearly said slag then. I recently started practicing. This is from Wilson Rodus. I recently started practicing tattooing on fake skin. Bought a cheap Amazon wireless machine. I'm looking to buy a new tattooing machine. I would recommend a wand shader for sure. Bishop wand shader with a critical battery pack on the top. You cannot beat it. You just can't. Inkjet to Flight X1, have you used it? Yes, I have. It's good. The thing with the Inkjet to Flight elites and stuff like that is this, like, you can change the bars and stuff like that. So many different settings for it to hit soft, then hit a tiny bit soft, then not soft, then blah blah blah. Then you've got a straight black bar, which is what most people use that I've come into contact with, and I'm just like, what's the point? It's just so confusing, isn't it? You know, it's so confusing. Are you planning on retiring at all? No, I'm not. Jay Humble says, have you tried the B Charge power supply? I haven't yet. Not yet. I've heard good things. I want to get the new one though. The old one, which was big. It's like the really big one. I didn't like that because it was too big. But they've shrunk it in size and made it last longer as well, which is good. I think it's pretty much the same as the critical, so that's going to be really good. If it's anything like the critical one, it's going to be unreal. If no one wants you for apprentice, what do you do next? Go on your own. That's what I did. I was trying for 2 years to find an apprenticeship, and I was like, fuck it, fuck you all. I'm going to teach myself, and now I'm here. So, boom. I see flat mags more around. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand. Flat mags, if you're trying to achieve the way I tattoo, use curve mags. Bug pin curve mags is the only mags you should be using to do realistic black and grey work. Smooth work. How else can I purchase your course if I don't have social media? Well, that's a good question. Send me an email. tattoosbyoliverrare@gmail.com. I'll pick it up. But if you do want to get my course, do you know what? This is one thing I have to say. People selling tattoo courses and basically just selling time lapses, get fucked, mate. Get fucked. You are pulling wool over people's eyes, not giving them any fucking good information at all to get better. Get fucked. Seriously, get fucked. Time lapses, you can find that shit on YouTube. Like, give them something like hand speed versus machine speed to get smooth shading. Give them like what needle size for what technique, what's good for what voltage. Like, go into the science of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's mental to me that people are selling their course for thousands as well and just selling you a fucking time lapse. Jesus Christ. I feel like I would get your fucking money back, mate. Seriously. That really winds me up, that does. Really winds me up. I use Intense, this is from Ross McClelland. I use Intense Bob Tyrrell black and grey ink set. I've got to agree with everything he says. Flat mag shit all over curved. That's mental. Wow. I mean, Bob Tyrrell is a goat, but I can't really say anything else, really. He's old school, isn't he? He's old school. Of course he's going to fucking say that. Of course he's going to say that. You look at the new school people like me, like Thomas Carly Harlier, like Eric Massinazin. You look at that work compared to Bob Tyrrell's work, and you see whose is better. Bob Tyrrell is unbelievable. He's old school. He's stuck in some of his ways, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine, because Bob Tyrrell's work is still amazing, but he's not. What you need to do with tattooing is you need to open your fucking mind. You need to open you need to think outside the box. You need to, it's like people that have apprenticeships. They work in a specific studio. They were taught this way. They think that's right. Not right. Nothing's right. What I'm saying isn't all right. It's just what I know and what I use. But I've also got the ability to think, you know what? Okay, I will try that. I will do that and see what happens and see if it works for me. I've tried flat mags before because I was like, oh, why not? You just use a flat mag. Awful for me. It's good, but you need to make sure your machine's angled right. Otherwise, you're going to draw a line in the skin because the side of the mag, and that's it. You can't. It's very, very hard to achieve smooth shading with a flat mag unless you're going to take about 20,000 years to fucking complete one tattoo. I think if you're doing portrait-based work, which the majority of my stuff is, that requires very, very smooth stuff. Curved mags are the way forward. You look at Thomas Carly Harlier's work. He's super smooth. I know he uses colours and stuff in his work. He uses opaque greys, which is classed as colour. It's not. I don't really think it's black and grey, to be honest. I don't I've got a very strong opinion on what should be classed as black and grey. I think black and grey is black that's diluted down. I think that's what should be classed as black and grey. I think using opaque greys is basically using colours. Like, you're a colour artist. I believe you're a colour artist. You're not black and grey for me. I know it's black and grey tones, but it's not like using a drop system. I was planning. So Tokyo Arby says I was planning to buy a Bishop liner of Ladblad, which is, to be honest, I don't even know. I've only got experience with the Bishop liner, so I would choose that. But you can go ahead and try the Ladblad if you want. when you go to wipe the tattoo, Oliver, what's on your paper towel that gives you such a clean wipe the first time you wipe? It's all to do, this is why I say to you, ink is very important. This is from Anubis the Tattooist. Ink is very important. Thickness of the ink. So a good ink for me, right? Let me just, I'm getting deep into this now. I'm getting passionate. You can tell. A good ink for me, right, is I've got numb arse as well. I've been sat here for ages. A good ink for me is an ink that's thin enough to wipe off the skin first time, yeah? But also thin enough, because when you go thin with an ink, you have a loss of pigmentation. So how strong the ink is, yeah? So when you look at an ink, say like a dynamic black, very good, because it's super thin, it's super easy to wipe off, which is why I get the majority, when I wipe off first time, it's gone, because it's thin enough to wipe off, and it does, you don't have to wipe it multiple times, which then has way more risk to wiping off the stencil, yeah, which is why I do that. Dynamic normal black, that is. Then you've got the triple black, which is a tiny bit thicker, but super easy to wipe off the skin pretty much the first time, if not second time it's off, yeah? And that's got 3 times as black pigment in the ink. So silverback, I hate silverback. Oh, I don't hate silverback. I take that statement back. I like silverback, but fuck me, they've marketed their fucking shit all wrong, in my opinion. I mean, they're good, obviously. You know, they've done well. They're one of the biggest ink brands, but fuck me, are they confusing, mate? They bring out a million different blacks, fucking a million different grey tones, a million different this, a million different that, and you think, what the fuck do I use? Like, I just want... the thing I like with Dynamic is they've got a black. Then you've got a choice of going triple black, which is an even darker black. That's it. That's it. You know? If you want a really deep black, which it is, the triple black is really deep, it's really pigmented, use the triple black, which is really good for contrast, which is why I have triple black for my blacks, and then I go up to my grey washes and my medium tone, which is the normal black. So I've got that super contrast, which gives it a massive, it just pops out of the skin then, obviously providing you've got a good technique. Dynamic is not approved in Sweden. Yeah, that's the thing. All these different regulations, to be honest, you'll be able to still get it. You'll still be able to get it. Triple black, good for warm skin tones. Yes, exactly that as well. I find as well, I was tattooing a lot of tan skin, mixed race skin as well. And, you know, when the skin's a lot darker, you have to, you really have to go darker with the ink. Dynamic black was getting there, but it was healing a bit too light. I didn't have the contrast I normally get in the tattoos I normally do. Hey mate, which Egift setting is suitable for which needle groups with the EXO 4.0? Do you know what? I was saying this earlier about the EXO 3.2 for shading. Just hits way too hard. Even with the Egift all the way onto the softest setting, it's super hard. It's super hard. I'm going to try and get some of these questions in. It's getting crazy now. Please smash a like on the video, guys. Please, I really appreciate that. I'm going to try and do one of these every day, you know? I'm going to try and do... No, not every day, because it's just going to be nuts. I'm going to try and do one of these every sort of 2 days, 3 days. So I want to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So the next stream will be Wednesday, and then the next Q&A will be on a Friday. So we'll keep it to 3 days a week. Just so, you know, I can, because I know I've not answered some of these questions and it's annoying me. So if I haven't answered your question, there's going to be another opportunity to jump on Wednesday and Friday. Dynamic is thicker but good. Yeah, silverback's really thin, but it's just the shades. I don't like the shade. I've tried the 666 one, I think, the set. I've tried the is it the Super Black or something? I don't know what it is. Like maybe like Black as Fuck or something it's called. I don't know what it is, but I've tried numerous blacks which I didn't like. Really thin ink though. That's the one thing that's good with Silverback is they've got the consistency right. Just stop it. It's just so confusing. Like there is probably an ink there that I'll probably love, but I just don't know what it is because there's so many bloody inks they do, and it's just like, well, which one do I buy? And they're super expensive as well. Like they shouldn't be that expensive. Yeah, Reach. Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of that. Dynamic white ink. So Scott Henry says dynamic white ink. Which one to use for highlighting? And is this still Sigma? Is it self-taught? Nah, fuck it, man. Black 13 is the new one. Yeah, I think I've tried that as well. Have I tried it? I don't know. I don't even know, mate. I don't even know. There's so many. I must have had about 6 different blacks, and they're all different. And I don't like how they heal. And I'm like, what? It's just super confusing. There you go, Villy. The member says if you hang the needle out too much with the short stroke, like a 3.2 from Zion Spectra, could cause inconsistency on ink flow. Yes. I had this actually the other day. I hung my needle out too far, and yeah, I was having inconsistent flow. It would either pull out really quickly or just not pull out at all. It was literally dumping all the ink out in one. I think I was using the Bishop one liner I think I was using a 3 round liner with that from Quadrant, and I think I was using volts. I think I was using like I think I was using like 5 volts, 6 volts, maybe. No, it wasn't 6 volts. That's crazy. I think I was using like 5 or 4.5 volts for it. And it was just pulling the ink out. And I was like, what is going on? And yeah, and it was because I had my needle out too far. So I pulled it back in and it was fine. Am I lame because I still swear by coils? Nah, it's just how you tattoo. Coils are unbelievable, mate. Coils are very, very, very good machines. They're bread and butter. They're sick. I think actually the first tattoo machine was a rotary. I think it was actually a rotary machine. If you go back, I think it was actually a rotary in like 1800s or something crazy like that. I think the first tattoo machine was actually a rotary, but I could be wrong. Missed your Black Friday deal. It's still on, mate. Those of you that do want my course, it's still at $300. It's cheap as fucking chips. One thing I will say is it's going to remain that price forever, because I don't believe you should be charging. I've had a few people say to me about what other people were doing, and they'd bought. Yeah, I will answer your question, Tokyo. A lot of people bought more courses from different people, and they were just selling them time lapses, and like I was just like, wow, really, fucking really, at like $3,000, $2,000, $1,000. I know I put mine up as $1,000, I think, at the start, but my like. Those of you that have taken my course, you know what's involved. It is no bullshit. It's very, very easy to follow. There's secrets in there that I don't tell you on YouTube. There's a lot of fucking information on there that covers the whole wide range from starting your very first day in your tattoo career all the way up to my level now. You will get everything. Do you feel like your speed also sacrifices quality of tattoo? It does, in the sense of, I think my speed is, do you know what? I've tried to slow down, and this is one thing I used to hate myself for, is how quick I am. I've tried to slow myself down, and I literally add about half an hour onto the tattoo. As long as I get smooth shading, I don't care. My shading and my work has definitely gone up. A lot of you have said that. I've noticed it in my own work. And that's because I've slowed my hand speed down. Slowing your hand speed down is by far the best thing I've ever done. This is the and slowing my machine. I've recently just slowed my machine down to 8.2 8.2 volts on the shader. This is the best bit of advice I can say to you with smooth shading is slow, consistent hand strokes. So say if this is a tattoo machine, yeah, this is your needle. Zzz. You go in like this. 8.2 volts, 8.2, bang. Zzz, slow. I used to tattoo like this. Zzz, wrong. It's wrong. Erratic movements is the worst thing you can do. I used to tattoo like this. Whip, yeah? Or like the pendulum swing. Brush motion, I call it, because it's like painting with a paintbrush. Like this, yeah? Bang, 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 bang. I used to go like this, and you used to see the line marks. They're called mag lines. Now, when you slow your... I explain all this in the course as well. When you slow your hand speed down like this, it's so smooth, bruv. So smooth. Yeah, the David Vega technique is even better. It's even better, but it takes a long fucking time, and there's loads of layers. I still need to get him on the podcast. David Vega, if you're watching, please come on the podcast. It's just a time difference. We keep saying that we're gonna link up and stuff, but we just keep missing each other because he lives in Texas and obviously I live in London. The time difference is mental. He doesn't do this back and forward. He doesn't go forward and back like this, like a brush. He just goes back, bruv. He just does that, and that's super smooth. That's like insane. That's insane. That takes some talent and a specific way of looking at things to do that. He literally only tattoos on the backstroke. It's mental, crazy, but it's very, very fascinating to watch. What are your current favourite carts? That's from Brutal. I'm going to answer Tokyo's question now after this one. My favourite carts are Quadrant, 0.30s. If I was to pick my lot sizes, this is what I would choose. I would choose a 3-round liner, 0.30. So a tight one, super tight. No, it's not super tight, that's a 0.25. But a 0.30 3-round liner, either Quadrant or Bishop Da Vinci V2. V1s are crap. They're not crap, they're just not very good. V2s are unbelievable. Is the 10 Masters course any good? I have no idea. I don't know. All I know is that Ben person from up north, and there's two I've looked at. Ben person from up north and Daniel Silvers. He's blocked me actually, Daniel Silver. So I think 0.30 is what everyone should be using, not standard size. 0.30 is good, unless you're doing like traditional stuff, then it really doesn't matter. But if you're trying to get nice black and grey smooth work, smooth shading, 0.30, which is a bug pin, is by far the best needle to use. So 0.30, 3-round liner. Then I'll use another round liner or a round shader. So I'll use a 7. Is Silverback to tattooing? I think he is, yeah. I think he's out. I don't even think he went to fucking prison. I'm just going to go over now. I'm going to keep these videos to an hour every week. So 3 hours worth of Q&A. So 3 videos a week. And I'll use a 3-round liner, 0.30. I'll use a 7-round shader, maybe a 12 gauge, which is a 0.35, which is the standard gauge. I'll then, but I won't use all the needles. Then I'll use a 7 curve mag, 0.30. That's one of Thomas Carlehalier's favorite needles. I can use 2 or 3 needles for every tattoo, and so can he. Then I'll use a bit of a bigger mag, so I'll go up to maybe I'll use a 7. Then I'll maybe use an 11 curve mag, 0.30 again, and then I'll use a big mag for wider areas, for bigger areas. So I'll use a 15 curve mag. That's literally it. That's all I'll use. But I could probably do every single tattoo with 3 needles. One being 7 round shader or a 7 round liner, 0.30. A 7 curve mag, 0.30, and a 15 or an 11. That's. I don't need liners. I don't need like thin liners, like a 3 or something like that. 7 round shader liner. 7 round shader you can use for lining as well. So you get nice texture as well when you shade with it, but you have to be really careful of using small shaders. Right. So Tokyo, I haven't forgotten your message. Tips on how to get enough clients. I do explain this in the course. It's one of my core subjects, gaining clients. Ads. Use ads. Use ads. Start designing things you like to tattoo. I would start off with delicate stuff like single line, not single line, like dates, Roman numerals, stuff like this. Stuff that's nice, that everyone wants. You get loads more fucking clients then. Try and adhere to something, the market that you think is cool. So when I first started, I adhered to things like this, small bits like this. Obviously you have to know how to line with small liners, but it's all practice. I used to do dot work because I was too scared to shade. I used to shade with dots. So I used to dots. And you get to know the depth of the skin as well when you dot. Guys, because it's calling me. Cool cap. It is my own cap. The rare cap, you can see. Olive rare cap. I'm not going to take it off because I've got crazy hair. Right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to do another Q&A on Wednesday, so keep an eye out for that. Not Wednesday, it's Monday, isn't it? Monday, I'll do a Q&A on Monday. I'll probably go live on the Monday as well. So I'll do a Q&A in the evening on the Monday. I will follow my Instagram. I'll put the times and stuff when I'm going to go live. So yeah, just keep an eye out for Monday, and I'll go back live. Thank you so much for those of you that have jumped on here to ask me questions. I hope I've been a help. And yeah, I just like giving you some knowledge, you know. So I'm still sat in my car. I've literally just been to the gym and I'm still not home yet. So are you going to be tattooing today? No, I'm not going to be tattooing today. I worked last weekend. So I'm going to relax until Monday, but COVID's kicking off crazy. So I'm going to try and get some Christmas drinks in with my friends today, before we don't see each other for a few months, because I think it's going to be locking down here in the UK because of this Omicron transformer variant. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. Please smash the like on the video. It's going to be available to watch after, so go through after and you can see. Oh, how much for your course in US money? $300, I think it is, mate. Right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one on Monday. Another Q&A